Hey guys, welcome back to the Musings of Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick, and today we are going to be continuing our watch of Kimetsu no Yaiba episode 3. Now, I'm in a good mood since this is something I'm looking forward to every single week. It's definitely well animated, it has a great story so far, and well, it's just great to have a good action show for this season. So, last episode, we finally, I guess, officially started the process of Tanjiro's training. So, in the last episode, he also demonstrated some of his flaws, his character weaknesses, such as being way too indecisive. And, well, we also get to learn some of his strengths as well, like how he uses his sense of smell and how he uses his brain to do stuff, right? That's definitely something I appreciate very much. So in this episode, probably we'll get to start to see some of the training process. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about the demons, as well as demon slayers and what they do, and maybe, just maybe, also start to see some ability usage as well, because I'm really looking forward to when Tanjiro can use that water dragon thingy ability, whatnot. In other news, there's actually two big news that's been announced. One, well, I guess it depends on your perspective, but at least for me, one of the big news is that the opening for this season, which is sung by Lisa, the full version of it will drop on Monday, so April 22nd, and probably, knowing Japanese companies, probably it'll be out first physically and in some digital websites, and then later on go to streaming sites as well. Although, yeah, it depends. So the opening for this season is definitely a bop, so I'm looking forward to that. The second big news is that it has finally been confirmed that this season, or actually this anime, will have a total of 26 episodes. So it will cross into it will have two cores. The first core, probably 13 episodes, will be for this 2019 spring season, whereas the second core, probably also 13 episodes, will be during the 2019 summer season. So, hey, if it can keep up the quality that it has shown for the last two episodes, I am all for it. And it will be my pleasure to watch this with you guys. So, that's been enough of news. Let's just get into the episode right now. And let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. I also apologize if you hear a lot more background noise than usual. It's actually raining pretty hard right now where I am. Okay, a journal. Tanjiro Kamato. I wonder what his sister actually eats right now. Nezuko, right? Oh. Okay. Ah. And here's the song. Since I've already seen this before, I won't show this part, but I will be listening to this again. So I'll see you guys in a second. And there we go. Such a good song. Gurenge, which means chrism flower. Oh, and there we go. Some background in regards to the demon slayers. Oh. Super zombies. Oh, they can shapeshift? Decapitation. Alright. To protect other humans. Sabito and Makomo. Huh. Okay. The final selection process. So there's also going to be a final trial as well. Okay. Some pretty common shonen work tropes. No, you can die during final selection? Alright. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so is he... I guess it's using the journal to sort of recall the events, if you will. Hmm. So not even training with the sword yet, but training running with the sword. Huh. It's a smart way, right? So on the premise of writing a journal, so they can do a recap of what happened. Dude, the ink's gonna... never mind. Literally learning from zero. So what's Nezuko doing all day? Yeah, what's Nezuko doing all day? Like, she has to be doing something, right? Really? I like this kind. I really dig this kind of animation style. It's so fun to watch. Like, hold on, is Nezuko literally sleeping, just like every day? Is she like in hibernation or something? Ah, water breathing. But that's why he uses water skills, water typed abilities. Okay, relaxed, raced. So this is just like literally one long recap episode. Oh, so she is in hibernation of some sort. I'm guessing it's probably because she needs to eat stuff, but she doesn't want to eat humans. So, I guess either she willed herself or her body just decided to go into hibernation. To conserve energy so she doesn't need to eat. Oh. Using swords now. Music is getting epic as well. Oh, really? That fast? Oh, a year has passed. So Nezuko's been sleeping for a year. Tanjiro's been training for a year. And we can finally start our journey? Okay. Slice this boulder? He's not calling him sensei? I wonder. What exactly is he supposed to do? It can't literally just be to cut it like this, right? They're trying to use his abilities. By the way, you're not supposed to strike this kind of thing with a sword. Swordsmiths will yell at you. So how long did he self-train? I can't believe that that sword hasn't been chipped yet. So 1.5 years? Dang. Oh? Is this... I don't think this is one of his companions, is it? Okay. So who are you? Ah, it is him? The guy we see in the opening? Alright, come on, let's just get on with it. Oh. Dang. Oh. Okay. Ooh. This is cute. Hi. You gotta appreciate Tanjiro. You gotta appreciate Tanjiro's naiveness. Wow, so the training goes on. Shouldn't his teacher be the one teaching him this? Are they former disciples of him? Okay, yeah. I mean, there's lots of different trainers, right? So it stands to reason that there's also going to be other people trained under him. I mean, half truth, I guess. Pseudoscience. Her eyes are creepy. Like, seriously, that is one. That is one hard sword. So 2 years. All right. I wonder how much of the actual process was shown within the manga. Okay. Oh. Nice. Ooh. Nice. Hmm. Why does he also have a scar as well? Wait, what? What? And the boulder was... Dang. Ah! I want the next episode! Oh, man. Alright. Let me check real quick if there's anything after the ending. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in a second. So yeah, there actually is still, I guess after every episode, there's this thingy. Is that so? Oh, already? And there you have it. So next episode we will be going into the final selection, and I guess in a sense we will finish our training, which, you know, just one episode of training and covering 2 years, that seems to be acceptable. But anyways, there's a lot of things I want to talk about for this episode. First of all, in the beginning of the episode where they did this sort of like exposition on the Demon Slayer squads, I feel like the dialogue was a little bit forced, but at least it did give us a little bit more of context, right? And definitely I'm seeing some foreshadowing here, right? When they said that the Demon Slayer squads or Demon Slayer corps, they don't know who the leader is. Well, you can bet your ass that probably that leader is going to show up sometime in the future and has some relation to this story, right? I think that we can see that coming a mile away. And then, you know, going into the whole training arc, right? A common trope of shonen anime. I did like how they at least sort of tried to justify it, all the voiceover for this episode by stating that Tanjiro had started a journal, which he was going to give to Nezuko, and so it made sense for him to start narrating what happened during the meantime, right? 2 years had passed, don't forget. 1 year of training under the old man, 6 months of self-training, and then another 6 months before he finally sliced the boulder, right? So, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how it was done within the manga. Probably manga viewers can enlighten me on that part. In terms of this episode, it was definitely still a little bit slow, right? Like I feel like you should either do it one way or the other. It's in this case it was still a little bit slow, so the whole episode and the pacing felt a bit slow. At the same time, it was way too fast for there to be any interesting stuff to be shown on screen. But even so, I feel like even though the pacing was a bit slow, I still enjoyed it overall, and it's in part largely due to 3 different reasons, right? The first one is I really enjoy how so I've been praising the animation for this anime since the very beginning, right? And I'm sure a lot of people are also praising the animation. But actually, if you look very closely for this episode, a lot of the scenes don't actually require or aren't actually that complex of an animation, right? There's plenty of scenes where it's basically just a background and then there's a superimposed character that's moving on top of it. But even so, I actually did appreciate how they attempted to put some animation into those scenes as well. They could have easily just put a still frame there and then use the narration, especially in terms of recaps. That's what normally happens, right? There's a still scene or still image on the screen, and then that we just know that it happens. Here, UFO Table actually tried to put some little bit of animation into it, and so it made the entire animation much more dynamic. It made the scenes much more dynamic, and so that really heightened my enjoyment of the scenes in question. The second part I want to talk about is the camera work. So I haven't really talked about this yet within the 3 episodes, but I guess because in this episode there's really not much else that I should concentrate on, so it was particularly noticeable, right? And camera work, of course, animation doesn't really have camera work, right? It's just more of a pre-planning to know what kind of scenes they want to show at and at what sort of angles to give it a more cinematic feel. And I didn't really notice it that much within the first 2 episodes. Like maybe they also had great camera work as well. I was just too preoccupied with what was happening on screen. But here I could really see, the camera work was great. It changed to show all the relevant scenes at the right times. It wasn't too jerky. A lot of animes nowadays actually emulate the Hollywood style of jerking around, and so you can't really see what's going on the screen. I feel like that didn't happen here, so shout outs to UFO Table as well. And thirdly, the BGM, right? Again, the background music is something that I've been praising for the past few episodes, but this episode continuously remained stellar, right? So absolutely fantastic there as well. So even though this was a slower episode overall, I feel like I still could pleasantly enjoy it. And so we end up with Tanjiro cutting the boulder, right? So the entire story with Sabita and Makomo, I believe, is that their names? Sabita, Makomo, yeah, I believe so. Sabito, and Makomo. So, looking at the kanji for their characters. It's for the names, I mean. Sabita is actually something rabbit, whereas Makomo is something fox, right? So, I'm not really sure what relevance it has here. My assumption right now is that there are actually spirits that inhabit within that rock or boulder, right? Since this world already has demons, it's not out of stretch to say that the spirits also exist as well. Probably maybe they have some relation to the old man, maybe they were former disciples, maybe they were his children, or maybe they're just spirits that he, I guess, captured or something. I'm not sure if it's actually relevant at all, but I do believe that they are spirits that are residing within the boulder, and the reason for this is because the boulder, it seems to have a lot of these kind of traditional charms on it that are more, things that are used. It's a common trope within traditional Japanese religion, right? Shindo and so on and so forth, and more I guess folk religion, or what something like that anyways. So I do believe that those are spirits inhibiting the boulder, and probably helping Tanjiro based on the orders of the old man. So that's that. If they did appear in the opening, actually. I just, for a brief scene, I just didn't pay that much attention to that scene. So again, not really sure if it's going to be of relevance later on. So we also learned that there are other trainers in this world, right? And they all teach their own special techniques and whatnot to their disciples, to their pupils. So in this case, Tanjiro, the trainer that he has followed, is using some water techniques, if you will. And so that, I guess, is eventually how in the opening we see him using these water-based abilities. And then judging from his later companions, they also follow different kinds of trainers, which all use different kinds of abilities as well. So that makes sense conceptually. And at the very end, we know that he's going to be going into that final, I guess, selection process soon, which probably, I don't know, maybe they're going to fight each other or they're going to compete with each other for the final position and whatnot. You know, really, this whole anime gives me a very classic shonen work vibe, right? And classic as in stuff like Yu Yu Hakusho or Hunter x Hunter, Flames of Recca, maybe even Bleach or Shaman King, you know, those kinds of shonen works. It's actually been quite a while since I've seen these more, I guess, classically inspired shonens. But it is refreshing, right? Going back to the roots, if you will. I enjoyed those kinds of series a lot when I was younger, and you know, again, this gives me a very similar vibe, right? You got the training arcs, you got the old man, you got the you got the people who show up in the middle of your training to help you on, and then you go for a selection process where probably you'll meet your companions as well, and maybe even grow alongside the competition, right? Like training or growing during the competition or whatnot. Because don't forget, Tanjiro actually hasn't shown any of those special cool abilities that we've seen in the opening, right? So maybe those abilities will be developed once they go through that final selection process or whatnot. So I have to say, like I said, I am enjoying this series a lot, and boy, am I glad that it's going to be a 2-cour 26 episode anime, right? So even though this episode was a little bit slower, and definitely out of the 3 episodes, it was the, I guess, least interesting concept wise, but still the foundation that it has, right, still makes it a good episode. And so, you know, we got all the time in the world. Hopefully next episode we're going to move the plot along, and so we can see what's actually going to happen. What else there is to say? I guess that's about it. For his sister Nezuko, again, I've already mentioned in the episode, I believe that she's simply going into a state of hibernation of some sorts to conserve energy, since she doesn't really want to eat humans. So that is that. Is she going to wake up before Tanjiro goes to the final selection? Don't know. Maybe he'll take her along. Anyways, we'll see you once we get there. In any case, thank you guys for watching. I'm glad that you guys can watch along this series with me, and I absolutely think that this will be a great one. So, I'll see you guys next week as well, and so until then, bye-bye.